Tonight on the INC Political Radar.
Last night's debate is over. Who do you think came out on top? We'll have poll results and much more. Plus, gubernatorial candidate Jill Long Thompson has narrowed the gap, but does she have the deep pockets that Mitch Daniels has to stay strong in the governor's race? And will party affiliation affect who you vote for in the 3rd District congressional race? Let us know what you think. Welcome to tonight's edition of Political Radar, everyone. I'm Linda Jackson. Last night was the 3rd and final debate between presidential candidates, Democrat Barack Obama and Republican John McCain. Issues across the board, of course, brought up. So, who do you think made the most of last night's session? Opportunity, if you will. Give us a call at 483-8331. That's 483-8331, and we will get to your comments shortly. But before we do get to those calls, tonight's top story. Last night's debate may have been John McCain's last chance to turn this election around, as the polls show his campaign losing traction. Did he change enough voters' minds? ABC's Christiane Klein has more now from Washington.
Barack Obama and John McCain sat just feet apart, making for an intimate, tense, sometimes awkward final debate as the presidential campaign enters its last weeks. The stakes were much higher for McCain. Behind in the polls, he was aggressive, distancing himself from President Bush.
Senator Obama, I am not President Bush. If you wanted to run against President Bush, you should have run 4 years ago.
Essentially what you are proposing is 8 more years of the same thing.
There was another star of the evening, Joe the plumber from Ohio, a man who challenged Obama at one of his rallies and McCain used to make a point about Obama's economic policies.
What you want to do to Joe the plumber and millions more like him is have their taxes increased and not be able to realize the American dream of owning their own business.
Let me tell you what I'm actually going to do. I think tax policy is a major difference between Senator McCain and myself. And we both want to cut taxes. The difference is who we want to cut taxes for.
McCain kept Obama on the defensive, asking about his association with 60s radical Bill Ayers.
We need to know the full extent of that relationship.
40 years ago, when I was 8 years old, he engaged in despicable acts with a radical domestic group. I have roundly condemned those acts.
By lunchtime today, both candidates will be back on the campaign trail. Obama in New Hampshire, McCain in Pennsylvania. Christiane Klein, ABC News, Washington.
Instant polls after the debate are again giving the edge to Barack Obama. A CNN and Opinion Research Corporation poll had 58% of participants saying Obama did the best job, while 31% said John McCain performed better. Some were undecided. In a separate poll from CBS News and Knowledge Networks, 53% of uncommitted voters said Barack Obama won, while 22% said John McCain did. Well, you could make an argument that the star of the debate indeed last night was the man Joe the plumber, as he's known. The 34-year-old single father from Holland, Ohio, a suburb of Toledo, was mentioned 25 times last night. A self-proclaimed member of the middle class, Joe asked Barack Obama at one point about taxes, actually a campaign event last weekend. And the McCain campaign used him last night as an example of a middle-class American who does not like Obama's tax plan. So does this mean John McCain can count on a vote from Joe the plumber?
You know, you guys want to ask me my opinion's great, but who I'm voting for, you know, that's why it's a private booth. You know, I want the American people to vote for who they want to vote for. I just want them to, you know, be informed when they make that vote.
An interesting side note here, Joe's real first name is Sam. He's not registered or certified as a plumber either. So Joe the plumber might be a bit of a misnomer, if you will. John McCain's running mate, Alaska Governor Sarah Palin, will make her first campaign stop in Indiana Friday afternoon. Palin will rally supporters at the Verizon Wireless Music Center in Noblesville on the north side of Indianapolis. That event, by the way, is sold out. When we come back from the break, we would like to hear from you what your thoughts are about last night's presidential debate. I'll be joined by the Journal-Gazette's Tracy Warner. Call us right now for... Welcome back, everyone. I'm Linda Jackson. Before we get to the callers, I'd like to welcome Tracy Warner, editorial editor with our partner in news, the Journal-Gazette, to tonight's program. And thanks so much for your time, Tracy.
Linda, thank you.
Always appreciate it. So what was your overall reaction to the debate?
Well, you know, I think John McCain tried to put Obama on the defensive time and time again. I think McCain was hoping that he could either anger or maybe fluster Obama. And Obama reacted well every time. And I think that's why we see the polls that show that Obama won, that that McCain really went on the attack, and Obama deflected the attacks pretty well.
Did McCain do anything right last night?
Well, you know, I think he probably had to do some criticism. I don't think this William Ayers thing is going anywhere. I'm not sure that helped him any. You know, pushing his tax policy may be one of the better things.
Bringing up Joe the plumber. McCain did it. Obama reacted to it. Who do you think won out in all that? 25 times the guy was mentioned last night.
Well, today, now that we know that Joe the plumber is neither Joe or a plumber,
exactly, he's
I'm
not
sure
certified in the state of Ohio.
I don't think it really
so
helped.
You know.
Don't think it helped McCain. And Obama's reaction, you know, was okay. So I don't think that it hurt Obama.
Gotcha. We've heard from both tickets on the debate floor, all four of these people. Which do you think is the winner overall as far as the tickets go? Who did best on the debate floor, the Republican ticket or the Democratic ticket?
Well, I think the Democrats did, and right now, you know, with the lead, the main thing the Democrats have to do is not mess up very badly, and they didn't. Now, the vice presidential debate, you know, the expectations for Palin were set low, and she met them. So I'm not sure, you know, I think Biden probably won that. I think Obama's been doing better than the others.
We don't have any more opportunities as far as debates go. We have just over 2 weeks before Election Day. What does the McCain camp have to do in order to make it work for them?
I don't really know. I mean, Obama has got a pretty good lead in the popular vote. The Electoral College, he's got an even stronger vote. McCain has to convince Americans that he is better qualified, you know, short of some kind of major new policy to be unveiled. And I'm not sure he's going to do that this close to the election, so I'm not sure what he can do.
These past couple of days, from what I've read and heard, a lot of websites and some articles and a lot of television watching, 48 hours, it's made a huge difference in the fact that many undecided voters are now decided voters. Do you agree with that?
You know, I follow this so closely, it's hard to believe there are that many undecided voters because they are so much contrast. Yeah.
There's a lot of contrast, but people, they may want the change, but if they don't want it from the Democrats, they're really hoping for it from the Republicans, and I think there were a lot of people at one point, numbers showed that they were on the fence, but I'm just hearing these last couple of days there are more decided voters than ever.
Well, and a lot of undecided voters wait until the last 2 or 3 weeks to make up their minds, and now we're at that point, and now is when they are making up their minds.
Now we just have huge numbers of overall potential voters this time around. Let's go to the calls right now, Tracy, shall we? AJ is on the line, and I understand, AJ, you've got an opinion about the debate?
Yes, I think McCain won.
Why do you say that, AJ?
Oh, because he outlined all of his tax breaks and what he's going to do for the middle-class people.
Do you think Obama did not outline any tax breaks or any of his plans along those lines?
I was not impressed with his plans.
Okay. AJ, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time. Denise is on the air right now. Denise, we want to take your call. I understand you're upset with some of the other callers. Are you talking about a previous political radar program?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
Previous callers that were ill-informed or really taken in by the smear campaigns. Perhaps they're only listening to one channel or listening to or not reading. Consumer Reports has an excellent article on the tax plans and how it would help one or the other. I'm for Obama, and I would like to ask, why isn't anybody held accountable for those Republican smear campaigns, the Ayers campaign, the Ayers statement, and some of the other ones? Is no one held accountable for smears that are clearly untruthful, the Hussein smear earlier, etc.?
All right, Denise, thanks for your question. Tracy, you want to take that?
Well,
Do you think people are held accountable for all of this?
I think the electorate eventually holds them accountable through the media. I mean, we have so many forms of media now, and the media, I think, still gets to the underlying truth, but you have to pay attention to that. You know, most of these charges always have a kernel of truth behind them. And then I think a lot of it comes down to you believe what you want to believe. And if you are pro-Obama, you don't want to believe it. And if you're anti-Obama, you do want to believe some of the smear. So hopefully the independent voters are looking beyond that and looking at some independent